Here's a classroom discussion for January 9th, 2012. On the 9th, we talked about Joe Louis versus Max Schmeling, which we also said could also be called the United States versus Germany before World War II started. The first thing I want to talk about is Joe Louis. Joe Louis was born the grandson of slaves. His family was struggling during the Great Depression, so Louis fought to provide for them. At that time, 50% of African American families, especially the ones living in the urban areas, were unemployed. Louis was a champion boxer that was a 10-1 favorite against Max Schmeling. Understand that 10-1 means for every 10 times Louis would win, Schmeling would win once. It took Louis 3 years to get to the top. Louis lost the fight to Schmeling after being knocked out in the 12th round. Louis then, when they fought the second time, was one of the first African Americans to carry the weight of the United States on his shoulders. This is obviously figuratively. He was the guy that was going to beat the big, evil German. Max Schmeling was from Germany. He was expected to lose by the Americans. He was thought to be too old by the Americans, even though he was just 30 years old. Hitler saw him as the Aryan superhero. This fit with Hitler's belief that whites, especially blonde-haired, blue-eyed people, were superior to all other races. You may or may not know that the word Aryan is normally associated with neo-Nazis or Nazis and that belief that Hitler had about whites. This was after Schmeling defeated Louis in their first bout. Hitler said that the United States people were like a mutt. I explained to the class that line in this way. My parents and on our farm, we never had a dog that was a purebred. It was always from a mother of one kind of dog and the father from another kind of dog. Therefore, we always had mutts. And in Hitler's mind, the United States people, that's what they are. They're a bunch of mutts because none of them are what you would consider be purebred in his mind. We have all different kinds of people from all different kinds of backgrounds in the United States. Hitler also said that our way of life and our society would just die out. Hitler went on to say that our biggest mistake as Americans that we ever made was the freeing of our slaves. When Schmeling loses to Louis in the second fight, Hitler shuns him and his name is no longer mentioned in the newspapers. It's important to remember that Max Schmeling, even though he fought for Germany, was not necessarily a Nazi and did not hold the same beliefs. I told the classes that I did read that when I was doing some research that Max Schmeling actually did help a few Jewish children escape during the period of time of World War II. U.S. versus Germany. The United States is known for these things with what we discussed. We're a democracy where people get to vote and have a say in government. Things were looking bad in the United States, and we were on our knees, so to speak, with all of the bad things that had happened during the Great Depression. And we're also seen as the good side in this fight. On the right side, under Germany or the German side, Hitler was more of a dictator than he was of a president. He ruled the way he wanted to and did things as he saw fit. While we were on our knees and things were looking bad, in Germany things were on the rise and things for the people of Germany were looking very good. They're obviously also seen as the evil side in this fight. In this battle between Schmeling and Louis in Germany and the United States, it's a battle of ideologies. The idea that all men are created equal in the United States for the most part, and that in Germany only a specific race is good enough to be able to have any power. This will give you the information that you need to complete the assignment named Louis versus Schmeling. I hope that listening to this and reading it will help you be able to answer the questions effectively.